Hello, everyone. This is Rosa Parra, and I am here to share my initial thoughts on a movie I just finished watching, which is titled Young Woman and the Sea. The film stars Daisy Ridley as Trudy A. Durrell, who in 1926 was the first woman to swim across the English Channel. And in addition to that, she did it at a record breaking time, including breaking the record time of the men swimmers, of the male swimmers who had done this accomplishment prior to her. And Man, you know what? I was delightfully surprised by this movie. I was hearing really good word of mouth about it. I was hearing that it was definitely a standout and perhaps a movie that not a lot of people were expecting to fully enjoy. And I am very excited and happy to report that all those rumors and all the initial feedback is true. OMG. Daisy Ridley is phenomenal as Trudy. She brings this versatility and she brings this emotional gravitas to the character that we initially see at a very young age. We see that Trudy was a woman or a child, let's say, who at a very young age was already struggling. She contracted measles and she was very much a person who for its time, granted, this movie is literally taking place almost 100 years ago, and obviously medical advancements weren't as great back in the day. So if you did contract measles, you did run the chance of having additional consequences due to the illness. Like you can lose your hearing, or you can even die from contracting measles. So the fact that Trudy had it and she was constantly warned not to swim, otherwise she would lose her hearing, and yet she did not want to listen to the advice and continue to swim and continue to do as what her passion and truly pursue her passion, which was to swim. She wasn't built, even though this takes place 100 years ago. She wasn't necessarily built to comply to traditional values. And what I truly love about this movie is the family aspect of it. Trudy, obviously, she was challenged by society, which is very heavily patriarchal for the time. She had very overly protective parents. Her father was definitely a member of the family who she had to confront every now and then. And to have the full support of her sister was definitely the emotional pull, and definitely an impactful movie that truly surprised me, to be honest. I might have shed a tear or two towards the end. Yeah, it's very much a feel good movie, but it's also very it's incredible to see how the movie successfully manages to transport you to that era. Again, this is almost 100 years ago, and yet the fashion, like everything from that time, is just very, very well done. um it's obviously inspiring, and just to sit there and literally be at the edge of my seat, just seeing what this character had to endure to even cross and swim across the English Channel. It was equally infuriating and frustrating because there were certain people that did not want her to accomplish it because they would make other swimmers or coaches look not in the best of light. However, I loved how they handled it. There's some amazing camera shots that the camera doesn't shy away from giving you a sense of space. And when you're swimming alongside Daisy Ridley, the camera is in there with her. So the camera is above the water and you can see her swim, but it also goes underneath under the water, and you can see it. And there's some footage that's all the way underneath, so you can get like a supine vision and viewpoint to her character and see what she's going through. Uh, Man, the comparisons to Naiad is inevitable. However, I do believe that this is a far superior film in the sense that the story itself, it's much more complex, it's much more well written, more well rounded. And this made Naya look a little bit more superficial. It made it look a little more thin in its storytelling and how it was approached. This movie, man, it was just incredible. I cannot believe that all that just came out of my mouth, because I was a big supporter and a big fan of Naiad, and the fact that like the two lead characters of Naiad were granted Academy Award nominations. And then again, I was very happy. Annette Bening and Jodie Foster equally, and very happy for them both. But man, this is the far superior film. And before anybody goes on to say, "Oh, is this like a girl boss movie, a story about women and female empowerment?" Let me remind you, this took place almost 100 years ago. Women were far more oppressed at that time. They were very much not allowed to do certain things. In fact, they start talking about, they had just recently passed the right to vote for women. So again, it's a movie that, yes, it's definitely talking about the different gender dynamics and how women aren't necessarily granted the same opportunities as men, particularly when it comes to sports. So Trudy Edderl, definitely a pioneer in women's sports, who definitely paved the way for a Diana Nyad to do what she did. So man, incredible film. If I were to score it out of 5, I would most definitely give it a 4.5 out of 5. And I cannot recommend it enough. Go check it out. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Hope you all have a great day.